Hey everyone, happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. I have a little tribute video I'll play in a minute uh, for my dad. Anyway, this video is on solo artists that I have in my collection, Non-Beatles. I thought it would be, no Paul McCartney, John Lennon, George Harrison, or Ringo Starr. So, and I've ranked them. I think there's 18 solo albums. When I say solo albums, obviously, for the most part, they still have a band with them, but it's their name that's out front. So I guess that's why it's considered a solo album. And I've got 18 albums here, and I've ranked them from well, they're all my favorites. I love all 18 of them, but from my least favorite to my favorite. So back to Father's Day, just for like 40 seconds. This is a little tribute video I made. I posted it on my Facebook and Instagram. It's my dad. He was in the Air Forces, I think, for 25 years. That's on my wedding day, my first marriage. That's me with my bigger brother Bob and my dad. That's my dad. That's me and my dad. That's my two brothers and my sister with me and my dad. And there's my dad. He loved puzzles. Unlike me, I don't like puzzles because you have to think. Okay, so yeah, my dad was the best. So was my mom. So number 18 is an artist I think I've got four of his albums, and I need to play him more. I don't play him as often as I should, but I love this album. I think it's the first one I ever heard by him. Richard Thompson, Rumor and Sigh. And I think this contains his biggest song from his solo career, 1932, Vincent Black Lightning. But the whole album is excellent. Number 17, I have a few albums by Miles Davis, and I think this is my favorite so far. On the Corner. Focus. Anyway, there it is, focused. Number 16. Once again, just like Richard Thompson, I heard about the artist for years and years and years and just never checked out his music. But I knew of his former bands, of course. And this was the first album I bought by him. And after hearing it, I ended up probably in like 3 months. I bought his whole discography, except I haven't bought his latest one yet. Paul Weller, Stanley Road, which there's quite a few that I really love, but I still think this is my favorite. 18, 17, 16, number 15. I heard this artist's biggest hit song, or one of his biggest, on the radio. I love the humor in it and the fact that I'm 6'3", so it didn't bother me that he was talking about short people have no reason to live. And it's Randy Newman. I love this album. I have all of his early albums, and this would be my favorite. And it features the Eagles doing background vocals. Yeah, short people have no reason to live. Some people were offended. They took it, he's just doing a parody, kind of like racism, I guess, with heights. And it was just a funny video. And I love Randy Newman. 16, 17, 16, 15. Number 14. I need to get more of Joe Cocker's albums. There's one in particular called Something to Say. It was also self-titled, depending, where it was released. High Time We Went is on that. Midnight Rider, Woman to Woman. I had to look it up. That's probably my favorite Joe Cocker album I've heard. But of the ones I have, I love this. Dear Landlord, Bird on a Wire, Lottie Miss Claudie. She Came In Through the Bathroom Window, of course. Something. Delta Lady, probably my two favorites on this album are Delta Lady and Darling Be Home Soon. The great Joe Cocker. 17, 16, 15, 14. Number 13. This is a compilation of his early albums. And I think most people would say Every Picture Tells a Story would be their favorite of the early albums. But for me, I do love that album. But for me, I love Gasoline Alley. And I think my favorite is the follow-up, Never a Dull Moment. The great Rod Stewart. So that's the bottom picture. I love that album cover too. And then there are the songs on the album. Right-hand side. Number 12. I talk about this album, quite often. And I only have, I think, 4 or 5 Neil Young albums. And this, not everybody's favorite for sure, but I bought it when it came out and I loved it right away. Neil Young, Trance. Yeah, Transformer Man, Computer Cowboy, Mr. Soul, Sample and Hold, We Are in Control. Love it. Number 11, I Need More of This Artist discography. But this is the favorite, it might still be number 1 or number 2. It's his latest, Paul Simon, 7 songs. Beautiful album. I love it. Now for the top 10. Number 10, my favorite solo my favorite solo album, that's it, by this artist, Steven Wilson, and Cannot Erase. Number 9. Not my favorite artist personality-wise, but I still play this album quite a lot. Definitely his best for me. Astral Weeks by Van Morrison. Yeah, Sweet Thing, Madame George, Ballerina, Beside You, Cypress Avenue. Every song is just great. But I love this album even more. And I think most fans of this artist's solo career would probably choose his first album, which is superb, Elias of Sunhill. But I have a soft spot for the follow-up, Song of Seven, which is a bit more poppy, especially side 1. But side 2 is one of my favorite album sides ever. And the final song, Song of Seven, is definitely, prog rock with some really amazing guitar work by Clem Clemenson, who used to be in Humble Pie and Colosseum. Love this album. And I just played this album last night. It's my favorite by Elvis Costello. Even with the attractions, it would still be number 1. King of America. Yeah, his version of "Don't Let Me Be Misunderstood." His vocals are pretty rough because at that time, I think he liked to drink a little bit, so he sounded pretty rough on the recording, but it kind of suits the song, and he puts so much emotion into the song. So I love that. Yeah, every song is just excellent. That was number 7. Number 6. Like all of these are in my heart. They're number 1. Frank Zappa, Hot Rats. I also love the Grand Wazoo. I could have easily picked that one, but this one contains one of my all-time favorite guitar solos in Willie the Pimp, and also Captain Beefheart has a guest spot on that song. But I love the whole album. It was what got me to appreciate jazz or jazz rock. See, some of these, it's like I could easily switch them, but I'll keep it in the order I have. This one, you know, gets to me emotionally when I play it, and yeah, I have just played it a lot since I bought it. Johnny Cash, American for The Man Comes Around, of course, with his version of Hurt, but he also does Bridge Over Troubled Water, which is probably my favorite on the album. And First Time I Ever Saw Your Face, Personal Jesus. He does the Beatles' In My Life. We'll Meet Again. Just amazing. Number 4. It gets to me emotionally too. The final album by David Bowie, Black Star. I just, I think some people, I can understand some people not wanting to listen to this too much because it was, his health was, of course, failing. He knew he was dying, I guess, right? But he made this for us, the fans. So I think he would want us to listen to it. And so I do. And I really appreciate it. Now, these last 3, I probably have in the past made a video where my most played albums of all time. And these 3 would be, yeah, they would be probably at least in the top 20, if not the top 10. Number 3, Glenn Kellaway from the Basement's favorite artist. Not. Lou Reed, Coney Island Baby. I have played this hundreds of times. I never ever get tired of it. And it was the very first Lou Reed album I ever heard. Number 2, I Played Last Night. And as some of you know, I follow the YouTube channel Taste Like Music. And Joe and this other person who is named Dylan are doing an album by album review. Dylan is a huge Bob Dylan fan, and Joe is kind of on the fence, not that he doesn't like Bob Dylan. And the next album they're reviewing, probably in a week or so, is my favorite Bob Dylan album, Slow Train Coming. I played this last night, and, some people kind of mock Bob Dylan and his vocals. Even I do, like, going, boom, Dylan. But I love his vocals, especially on this album. I think his vocals are just great. You check out a song like When He Returns or I Believe in You, and just the emotion in his vocals is very moving. So Slow Train Coming, Bob Dylan. Although I did not care for the follow-up, Saved. Very disappointed in that album. So number 1 is kind of a band, but the artist is mainly out there with his name, known mainly for his name. And it is, besides Paul McCartney's Ram and John Lennon's Plastic Ono Band and Walls and Bridges, George Harrison's All Things Must Pass, Captain Beefheart, Shiny Beast, Bat Chain Polar, my favorite Captain Beefheart album. Once again, I've played this hundreds of times, never get tired of it. It is my number one. And there you go. Another video done. I'd love your thoughts on any of these albums and what are some of your favorite solo albums. And speaking of Paul McCartney, I've got One Hand Clapping coming today. So I'll be doing a video on my other channel for that. And I'm still expecting the John Lennon box set that was gifted to me by Sean Lennon and Yoko Ono. I think I'm getting that tomorrow, finally. So I'll be doing an unboxing on my other channel for that. And anyway, that's it. Please remember to like the video. Make sure you're subscribed and leave a comment below. Thank you. Bye.